Hey, this is Eve. I'm the author of Detox with Ease, and my website is detoxthebodymcs.com. And I just wanted to tell you guys a little bit about my brain injury that I had 1 year and a few months ago. Was horrible. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to adjust my light. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button, smash the likes, hit the bell button, and all that way you can know when I'm going to come on and you can come ask me any questions you want. Feel free to ask anything. Doesn't even have to be related to the subject. Just type it in. I was assaulted by this very large man, twice my weight, who was like a jiu-jitsu brown belt, and he randomly attacked me, and I had a very bad brain injury. I actually couldn't even read for about 2 months. I was very dizzy. I was knocking everything over. In fact, I was so brain injured, I didn't even know I had a brain injury. I went to the urgent care because of my neck, and then they're like, oh, I didn't realize I was staggering around. And when you get a brain injury like that, it actually gets worse, like over days. So it was quite bad. I was not even verbal for several months. I didn't even really talk a lot. Like whenever I went to talk, like the thoughts would just be like crashing, and it was just really super hard. I had a lot of other issues that were connected to it because your brain is connected to all of every system in your body, really. So my heart was pounding. I still don't know if that was the PTSD or just, my blood pressure was super high. I've always had like very low blood pressure. And my nervous system was just nervous system damage. I had a lot of numbness in my hands and feet. I had a back injury too. And I had to call the 911 one time. I was going to number 2 in the bathroom and I started passing out, and it was just regular, because I asked the paramedics when they got there, I was like, is that normal? And they're like, it's the vagal nerve that's down there. And so you're like very fragile and very frail. And it was very scary. And I was mostly alone by myself. And people really didn't even understand. I think I could manage to make enough sense that they didn't realize how injured I was. And everybody's busy with their own stuff and whatnot. So I was just kind of here by myself. I did have a doctor. I did even have like a concussion doctor, and she's like, yeah, take CoQ10, don't, use the screens and whatever. And then she gave me a piece of paper to take home, but I couldn't read it. I could not read for several months. My phone, I couldn't even get my phone to work. I didn't remember any passwords. It was weird. I had no filter. For one thing, I was like super loving and nice, but also I was like mean, just depending because I had no filter. But quite a bad brain injury. And so I wanted to give a few tips on what I did to recover from that. I think the doctors didn't really give you much. Like, oh, you go to physical therapy, which I went to. And it's good to have your doctors. I couldn't get an MRI. I go to the neurologist because then there was COVID. And then there was insurance issues and whatnot. So I never able to get that. But luckily, before I got injured, I was already doing like daily meditation and Wim Hof breathing and doing it in front of my red light. I'm just going to grab my red lights super quick. Hold on. So this thing, I really believe, saved my brain. Anyway, it's a giant apparatus. You can get a small one, but I have a large one because I'm a huge proponent of these amazing machines. And I'll put the link in the bottom. I actually get a small commission if you buy one, but I try to get everyone to get one. It regenerates collagen. Your brain mostly is collagen. And then there's been 30 years of studies on it from the NIH and Harvard, and one is like reversing Alzheimer's. So if you're reversing Alzheimer's, what that means is that you're healing your brain. You're making your brain better. You're making your memory better. Luckily, I did that every day, and I did Wim Hof breathing, which really oxygenates your body like insane. I have a program I do every day, 8-minute abs, which includes at noontime, Eastern time, like 12:20. Wim Hof breathing. So if you want to come do Wim Hof breathing with me, you are welcome. I think my link's there. It's grandprismatica.com. So I was getting this super oxygenation in my brain. I honestly think, you know, if I wasn't doing that, I wouldn't have healed so fast. I mean, those aren't major, you know, I don't have a million tips. Those are my 2 tips. Also grounding in nature. And yeah, I think that's pretty much, those are my main tips. So, also, like, it was about a week or a couple of weeks, maybe a week or 2, don't remember. Like, that whole section of my life is a blur. I went to build a fire because I was building fires on Friday. So I went to build a fire, which I was very weak and I could hardly move the logs and I was just out of it. I was not myself. I was just real slow. I was just kind of like this, like very slow. And I was just kind of offline and just kind of a little dizzy and just sitting there. And on my birthday that year, I was in the ER and I just sat there all day. I didn't talk, even though my friend was with me. Like I just didn't talk. It just seemed like a lot of work. And I'm a belly dance teacher too, which also is included in my program. But I even taught my class, but I couldn't talk. But I have my same students who knew me, so I was just like, I could dance, and they could follow along, but I couldn't explain anything. So after that, my back got worse, and then I could talk, but I couldn't actually move. So that was an issue. Okay, this is a magical thing I did. I told my concussion doctor, of course, she thought I was crazy. But I went out and I built a fire, which I was doing anyway. And I noticed that that night that I made that fire, I went from being a completely, like, not even there. Mentally, I was just completely, I mean, I was very dim. And then, like, myself came back. Like, I felt, even though I was still slower and everything, I felt like my brain recovered like 100% just in that one day with the fire. So there's something about watching the fire that's amazingly good for the brain, which makes sense because, one, it does have red light. And it has all these other properties never even been discovered. So if you get a chance to be at a fire and look into a fire, something very healing about it. And there's especially something healing for your brain. It's very soothing to sit around a fire. So grounding in nature. Like, whenever I'm outside, I'm trying to touch the ground with my actual, you know, take my shoes off or sit on a rock or something. Something touching the actual magnetic field of the earth. Actually, I was fortunate enough to get like stem cell therapy 2-3 weeks ago. So I still have injuries. I still had some issues with being dizzy and balance and some issues with my vision. And I had like always hot in my ear. I never was sure what that was. The doctors really didn't give me an explanation except for fluid, which I don't know the details of that. It wasn't too good. So I was like, I need stem cell therapy, which I also already knew because I'm always studying health. So I already knew that it was good for brain injury because I have other loved ones that have brain injuries. So I was like, oh, stem cells works for brain injury. So I did get that. If you're interested in that, you can either find my number in there and shoot me a text. And if it's not in there, look for like one of my earlier videos. It will be there. Or put it in the comments, you know, with your email or something. I immediately, actually, this problem already it started getting worse. Like I was getting better. And then I kind of was getting worse with this heat in my head. And my blood pressure resolved itself. Like really, I was doing pretty good, except for a little bit with just feeling dizzy when I walked downstairs and a few things like that. I don't think my memory is too much worse than it used to be. I think, you know, and my ability to do math and, you know, I do Bitcoin kindergarten. That's on my other channel. Like, luckily I was doing all of these really hard things and my brain got back online and I got smart again. Thank God. And so yeah, if you know, it cost me quite a bit of money to get some stem cells. I had to, you know, I'm in Bitcoin and crypto, so I made some big gains there, and I was able to do that. But it definitely reverses brain injuries. They use it for autistic children. Brain injury all kinds of stuff. So I got that office over my spine, which is not, I did not get back to normal, which I was expecting to after a year. But it's a year and like 3 months. And if I dance a lot, my hands and feet will still get numb. Although even 3 weeks immediately after the stem cells, for 3 weeks, I gave my dance class and I did not get numb. Although when I really overdid it, I do get numb. So, but I've noticed changes, like my ear's not hot. I noticed it a tiny bit. It's like mild. But the one reason I want to get stem cells is that when you study up on brain injury, which is why I wanted to make this video, when I went to go look, like, how am I going to heal my brain? All I found was these really awful videos saying like, oh, you're going to have scar tissue in your brain forever. And then when you get older, it's going to get worse. And it was terrible. Like the information was really depressing. So I didn't really want to read that when I'm like so helpless and so hurt. So I still haven't found a lot of stuff on healing your brain. But as you know, so I've already done brain retraining since, 10 years ago, which is a lot of how I heal my multiple chemical sensitivity. So it was funny, like after I got the concussion, it was kind of like going backwards. Like I used to be in a lot of brain fog. My memory used to be pretty bad, worse than it is now. It's not still, it just depends on what I'm trying to remember. But my brain was very to where I can memorize like 12 numbers. Used to be I could like barely remember 2 or 3 numbers. So, which luckily after my concussion, I got back there pretty good about remembering numbers. I just, forget what I was talking about while I was in the middle of talking about it. Like now, that happened to anyone. Stem cells. Okay, brain retraining. So I already knew a lot about the brain and knew that the brain is neuroplastic. So did I do a lot of meditation back then? I can't even remember, but I would suggest it. I guess I did. Yeah, I used to do like 17 minutes of quiet meditation, just listening to the fan from Abraham Hicks. That's what they suggest. Listen to the fan. So, you know what? You can really create a lot of amazing neural pathways. You can heal your brain. Luckily, I already knew that. I'm going to sit around doing nothing. And thank God for this red light, which will make you smarter. Like literally in the year and a half before I got the concussion, I gotten amazingly smarter. And I'm not sure if that's like 100% of the reason, but I actually relearned algebra. I just have gotten really super smart, and my brain got very fast and very clear. I think it's the red light and the Wim Hof, especially together, doing a little meditation, getting all your right nutrients, make sure you get enough fat. Fats are essential for the brain. The brain is mostly fat, and I just found out it's mostly water. So make sure you stay hydrated and make sure you're eating a lot of healthy fats, avocados, grass-fed butter. You can eat meats, animal products which do not have, grass-fed, who don't have hormones and antibiotics. And do everything you can for your body. Take that CoQ10. I never took that much of it. I don't know why, because my doctor didn't tell me why. I'm like one of those persons, I want to know why. And that's it. So yeah, brain injury is serious, very serious. And you want to do everything you can, but get a red light. You can get a small one. And this one I just made payments on for like a year. It was the best investment I ever made, because I got it for joint issues. I was having some problem with my knees, and it fixed that in like 2 weeks. Like if you have any aches and pains, people use it just for skin rejuvenation. Red light therapy pretty much heals everything. It actually puts energy in your body. So I feel like it heals depression, heals tiredness. It gives you energy in your body. Like that's almost all illness is from lack of energy, for your body to repair. It gives you more blood vessels and drains your lymphatic. I mean, it's amazing. I use this one because I studied it. It's the one that I studied and decided was the best one, because there's has to be just the right wavelength and the right strength. And this one is near infrared and LED light. You can get a really cheap one, probably helps, but I don't know. Any red light's going to be good. But to really have the therapeutic effect has to be more. Smash the likes, make a comment, and let me know if you had a brain injury or if you have any tips on how to heal the brain, because brain is very important. And gosh, that was really scary, you know. I used to wake up every night in the middle of the night and go like, the doctor told me to do something, but I can't remember what it is. Like I literally was, you know, your room was spinning. You know, my bills and stuff, I just had to let them sit in a bag. I couldn't figure them out. I could not. So it all worked out, you know. Afterwards, I just called everyone, all of my late fees, this and that. I was like, I had a concussion. I have paperwork. Please, like, take all these late fees off and, you know, try to get out of all that trouble I got into. Have a great day. Ciao.